Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. Hello, Asta here. So today I'm doing another foundation review, and I know it's not the new release, but I finally got my hands on Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. As you can see, I have already my eyes done, and the other thing I need to do is to do my face, and I can't wait to put this foundation on. I've tried it a few times already and I love it, so I just thought I'm gonna show you how it wears throughout 8 hours and how it looks on combination skin. So this foundation here reminds me so much of MAC Face and Body because of the packaging and because the name is kind of similar, and the only difference is now that MAC Face and Body is more of a dewy finish, which this one here is the satin matte. So Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation is waterproof and sweat resistant. Also, it gives you a natural glow finish, so you can also build it up. And on this box here, which the bottle comes in, there's actually 3 ways to apply this foundation. The first way is just to do a light coverage, and they just advise you to use your fingers and just layer foundation evenly, so it would act as a light moisturizer, I suppose, or a BB cream. The second way of applying and getting medium coverage is to apply 2 layers of this foundation and use a flat brush to do so. And then to get a fuller, perfect coverage, you can use a round brush and use 3 layers. So I got myself a color 1W and I went into a Dior counter to get this foundation. This shade is pretty good match. It's a nice runny liquidy foundation. Comes in 40 shades, and there is a warm undertones, neutral undertones and cold undertones. Now from what I've seen, I am actually neutral undertone, and when I did neutral undertone swatches of this foundation, they seemed very peachy, which I wasn't impressed. So I went then for the warm, and it actually is quite a good match. So I paid €39, and I know on Sephora website it sells for $53, which is quite an expensive foundation, but you get more of this product in a bottle than in your normal foundation. So there is 1.6 fluid ounces in it and 50 milliliters. Okay, so let's put this to the test. So this side here I will do with the flat brush, and I'm going to apply 2 layers, and we'll see how that builds up. On the instructions they say start from the center and work your way out, and this is what I'm gonna do. It actually has a light scent to it. I had a few other foundations from Dior and they all do have a scent, but I don't know why. But this one is not as strong as the other ones that I had, so it applies super easily and spreads out so nicely. I have a little bit of primer on in my T-zone because I am combination skin, and I always have to use some sort of primer. So as you can see, this is the difference. So this is the side with 1 layer on, and this is the side with nothing on. It actually does even out a skin tone a little bit. You can still see the skin showing through. 1 layer gave me a light coverage, and now I'm going to try and build it up using the same brush. I personally don't like how flat brushes leave streaks on the face, and I prefer using buffer brushes to apply such liquidy foundations. I don't even think that a beauty blender would work because it would soak up all the product so liquidy. So I don't think it's even worth wasting this product, especially because it's so expensive. So I have another layer on, and it is definitely buildable. I wouldn't say it's a full medium coverage, it's very light medium coverage, but yes, you can really build it up to 2 layers. I can really see the texture around my nose and on my cheek area as well. But yeah, overall, love how this looks. It really does even out the skin tone, redness and little imperfection of the skin. Obviously, if you have breakouts or darker pigmentation, this wouldn't cover that at all. You would need to spot conceal that or use additional powders to get more coverage. So on the other side, I'm using a flat kabuki brush, and I'm going to do 3 layers and see if I can build it to full coverage. I think a flat kabuki brush instantly gives you a better coverage. than the flat brush. So I have 2 layers now using the kabuki brush, and I can see in the mirror that it's a little bit better coverage and emphasizing the texture but not as much, especially here on the cheeky area and around my nose, so it's not as bad as here. Now I'm gonna do the 3rd layer and see how that's gonna go. Wow, you can really see the difference now. So I have 3 layers on this side and only 2 layers using flat brush on this side. You can definitely build it up. Again, I wouldn't consider this a full coverage. It's more like medium coverage because you can still see skin. I think I'm going to even out this side to this. I can tell you straight away, I prefer using a buffer brush or kind of like a flat kabuki brush to a just flat brush altogether. It gives you such a good coverage and it's much quicker. Now I have my full face on, and when I look in the mirror, I definitely can see a lot of texture going on here, but it might be to do with the thing that I had my facial a few days ago, and this is just my skin recovering. Foundation's been sitting on my face for about 6 minutes. And it's pretty much dry to the touch. There is a little tiny tackiness, but nothing crazy. If you want to get rid of that, you can always use a little bit of translucent powder, just lightly set it and you would be good to go. So I have the rest of my face applied. Skin still looks quite natural. All other products that I applied on top, the liquids and the powders, went on lovely. There was no issue whatsoever, and I did set my T-zone a little bit with translucent powder because I always do. Now it is 9 o'clock here in the morning in Ireland, and I'll be back with you 8 hours later to show you how that looks. So now it's been 8 hours. I'm wearing Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. Now when I look into the mirror, I can see that it's actually really starting to gather around my nostrils here. Also the shines coming through, and it looks very textured around my chin area, but again, it might be to do with the fact that I had my facial done a few days ago. My forehead looks really good, doesn't look greasy or shiny or anything, so thumbs up for me from that. So the major issue I would say is creasing around the nose, smile lines, and that's it. Overall, I'm very happy with this foundation. It can be applied in a light layer, but at the same time you can actually build it up to like a light medium coverage, which is amazing. It doesn't feel drying. It looks great on the skin. Skin looks like skin. The only downside now is probably the price. It's very expensive, but also it has a scent to it. Whoever is sensitive to fragrances or have sensitive skin, that might cause a little issues. I hope it's been helpful, and if you haven't tried this foundation, do try, because it is a nice foundation and you probably will love it too. So thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel if you want to see future videos, because I upload them every week on Fridays. And if you want to get notified when I upload them, just press that bell button. So for now I'm saying thank you again, and I'll see you all next week.